No, I like Muslim people. But are you radical?
I'm a first-year teacher, and sorry, I'm upset because I had kind of a rough day. As I'm sure many of us who came here straight from school did. I don't know if I can stay teaching forever, and that makes me really sad. Because this is not my first career. I came back to school to be a teacher, and I really love the students that I work with, and sorry. I thought I would have time to prepare a statement today, but I woke up early to work on grading, and then I got to school early because I host a club before school for LGBTQ students, which I love, but it's hard because they often don't feel loved by the adults in their lives, so my days start off a little rough sometimes with them. And then at planning, I had 2 different meetings. I heard that, yeah. And then at lunch, I had a student in my room. We were registering for high school classes today, and he had an anxiety attack about the transition to high school. And so I was sitting with him at lunch, so I didn't have time to plan statements. But I just think about how much was put on us. And I know a lot of other new teachers, some of them do not have other career experiences like I have, where they've gotten training in ACEs or de-escalation, and they're struggling even more than I am, because we're not given any social and emotional support, really. I was so proud when I heard that Nashville is a city that embraces restorative practice. That was something really important to me when I was looking for a job as a new teacher. But we don't do enough. A lot of the teachers I've talked to who have been teaching much longer than me are frustrated by the restorative practice because they feel like they're given no support to make it happen. They've never actually been trained to do it. There's nobody in the building that can help them. And so we're all kind of struggling through something that we believe in but don't know how to put in place and haven't been given support for. And then on top of that, we're going home and we're working more, or we have a second job. I don't have a second job. I'm really lucky that I don't, but I also don't have kids or a house, and I don't know that I could have those things. And that makes me sad. It makes me sad that I have to go home and order a whole bunch more pencils and journals on Amazon tonight, because I have students that have run out of spaces in their journals and are coming to class and saying, I can't do any more work because my mom can't buy me another journal. Or I don't have anything to write with today. And that's just basic materials. I also don't have enough copies of textbooks. I never have technology access in my classroom. My projector doesn't always work, so I don't even have that. And so I just think of someone who is new to this, who went back to school to do this, and I want to tell other people, you should be a teacher. I want to tell my students, you should be a teacher, but how can I do that when I feel like I can't keep doing it? Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, I think our record on delivering the truth is a lot better than yours sometimes, if you don't mind me saying.
Let me tell you about your record. Your record is so bad you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Can you pledge to the American people that you will not accept any foreign assistance in the upcoming election? And on this idea of a purge in your administration, there was recently the departure of your acting DNI, Joseph McGuire. You replaced him with your ambassador to Germany, Rick Grinnell. Some of your critics have pointed out that Ambassador Grinnell has no intelligence experience. How can you justify to the American people having an acting DNI with no intelligence experience?
Okay, first of all, I want no help from any country, and I haven't been given help from any country. And if you see what CNN, your wonderful network, said, I guess they apologized in a way for... Didn't they apologize for the fact that they said certain things that weren't true? Tell me, what was their apology yesterday? What did they say?
Mr. President, I think our record on delivering the truth is a lot better than yours sometimes, if you don't mind me saying.
Let me tell you about your record. Your record is so bad you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You have probably
I'm not ashamed of anything, and our
you probably have the worst record in the
sir.
history of broadcasting. as far as McGuire is concerned, he's a terrific guy, but you know, on March 11th, his time ended anyway, so his time came up. So we would have had to, by statute, we would have had to change him anyway. So the
Well, your new DNI have experience in the intelligence
yes,
field?
Yes, in fact, we're talking to 5 different people right now. I think all people that you know, all people that you respect, and I'll make a decision probably over the next week to 2 weeks. We have some very good people. But Joe McGuire is a very excellent guy. He's a very good man. And his time was March 11th. I believe it was March 11th where he would have had to leave.
Was he
But we
forced
are
out
going-
because he wasn't sufficiently loyal to you?
No, not at all. Not at all. He was pushed out because, frankly, wasn't pushed out. He would have had to get out. On March 11th, he would have had to leave. But we're going to be making a decision on DNI very shortly.
We were told that Russia, maybe other countries are going to get involved in this campaign. And look, here is the message to Russia. Stay out of American elections. And what they are doing, by the way, the ugly thing that they are doing, and I've seen some of their, their tweets and stuff, is they try to divide us up. That's what they did in 2016. And that is the ugliest thing they're doing, is they are trying to cause chaos. They're trying to cause hatred in America. It's an ugly business, and all of us have got to say, sorry, you're not going to do this in this election. And again, as President of the United States, Mr. Putin, you will not interfere in our elections.
The American people deserve some straight answers on the coronavirus. And
Senator,
I'm not getting them from you. How many cases of coronavirus do we have right now in the United States?
Well, we have 14 cases plus an additional, I believe it's 20 or 30 some odd cases that we have repatriated back into the U.S. from a number of cruise ships.
And how many are you anticipating?
Again, we're working with HHS to determine that.
How many are you anticipating?
We do anticipate the number will grow. I don't have an exact figure for you, though.
Do you have an estimate? Is someone modeling that? Do you have any way of guessing?
Again, HHS, through their medical professionals,
Well, yes, sir, but you're head of Homeland Security.
Yes, sir.
And your job is to keep us safe.
Yes, sir.
Do you know today how many the experts are predicting?
We only know that, again, we anticipate those numbers to grow in the U.S. That's why we're making sure that our operations, again, at our airports, land ports, and elsewhere are flexible.
But you can't tell us how many your models are anticipating.
No, Senator. Again, I would defer you to the Health and Human Services for that.
Okay. Don't you think you ought to check on that
We will.
as the head of Homeland Security?
Absolutely. And again, we have task force members that are working this on every day.
I'm all for committees and task
So
forces.
we're coordinating with them to make
But
sure that
you're-
our
You're the
operations.
secretary. I think you ought to know that answer.
I understand that.
How is the coronavirus transmitted?
Through a variety of ways. Obviously, human to human, we've seen that. And again, we're making sure that those procedures, as they come into the U.S., are medically screened so that we can identify those
How
folks.
is it transmitted?
A variety of different ways, Senator.
Tell me what they are, please.
Again, human to human is what we've
Well,
primarily
obviously, human to
seen.
human, how?
Being in the same vicinity, physical contact is usually what we've seen from the medical cases that we've seen here in the U.S. We've had several, I think 2 to 3 human-to-human cases that have showed up here in the U.S. So it's those that are closest to those individuals that have that human contact.
What's the mortality rate so far, nationwide,
I believe
or
it's
worldwide?
Worldwide, I believe it's under 2%.
How much under 2%?
I'll get you an exact figure. I'll check with CDC on their monitoring the worldwide mortality rate, and I can get that for you.
But you don't know the mortality rate today.
It changes daily, Senator.
Well, I understand that.
Given
What's
about
the average since we discovered the virus?
Again, it's under 2%. It was as high as 3. Numbers were recalculated based on reporting
Is
from
it
China.
between
and
1.5 and 2?
It's between 1.5% and 2%.
Okay, what's the mortality rate for influenza over the last, say, 10 years in America?
It's also right around that percentage as well. I don't have that offhand, but it's
sure
right around
that?
2% as well.
You sure of that?
It's a little bit, yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have enough respirators?
To my knowledge, we do. I'm focused on making sure that our operators at DHS make sure that they have the protective equipment. I know HHS, as part of the supplemental.
Well, we just heard testimony that we don't.
Testimony from?
In a briefing.
Okay.
Do we have enough respirators or not?
For patients, I don't understand the question.
For everybody, every American who needs one who gets the disease.
Again, I would refer you to HHS on that.
Mr. Secretary,
my budget supports.
You're supposed to keep us safe.
My budget supports the men and women
You're
of the Department of
Secretary
Homeland
of
Security.
Homeland Security.
Yes, sir.
And you can't tell me if we have enough respirators. Do we have enough face masks?
We, for the Department of Homeland Security, we do.
I'm not asking for the Department of Homeland Security.
Are you looking?
I'm asking for the American people.
For the entire American public?
Yes.
No, I would say probably not.
Okay, how short are we?
I don't have that number offhand, Senator. I will get that for you. You're asking me a number of medical questions that
I'm asking
CDC
you questions
and
because you're
HHS
Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and you're supposed to keep us safe.
Yes, sir.
And you need to know the answers to these questions.
And
how far away are we from getting a vaccine?
In several months.
Well, that's not what we just heard testimony about.
Okay.
Who's on first here?
HHS is the lead federal agency for the coronavirus response. I would refer you to the CDC on specific
Mr.
questions.
Secretary, I'm going to hush here. You're supposed to keep us safe, and the American people deserve some straight answers on the coronavirus. And
Senator,
I'm not getting them from you.
I disagree.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
No, I like Muslim people. But are you radical?
What do you think?
Oh, thanks, Pat. Yo. Where you from, bro?
Pakistan.
Packy?
Yeah.
What do you think of us killing Osama bin Laden in Pakistan? That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Do you support, what do you support?
What do you mean?
Like, are you Muslim?
Yeah.
No, I like Muslim people. But are you radical? Like, no, I don't mean to ask like that, but like, are you radicalized?
What do you think?
No way. You're a good American guy. I just with you, bro.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. You know, I like Muslim people. They're good people.
They are good people.
Yeah, but not like the one, like some of them are crazy. Bro.
Not the radicals.
You're going to make this guy radicalized by the end of this cab ride.
No, if you gotta radicalize, bro. We could put the bomb. We can put the bombs up there and head into his house, right?
Hey, I wasn't the one talking about radicalization.
What do you think? What's your name, bro? Great name. Oh, I used to play guitar.
Listen, I'm a firefighter. Just let me know where there's going to be the next accident. I'll be happy to help. All right? That's it. What am I getting hit for? Your brother's the one who brought it up, not me.
If you want to blow, if you want to blow up anybody's house, blow up that guy's house.
Listen, I gotta help people. Leave me alone.
Oh my God.
Blow up this guy's car or anything. He seems like a douche.
You know, we just joking with you, brother.
Let's all blow up this guy's car. He seems like a douchebag.
We just having fun. Do you like Trump?
Yes.
Me too.
He's like, I'm going to say whatever to get this kid to shut the up.
No, I'm big Trump. The economy's good, right? It's free for everybody. But they wanted to make it socialism.
Except for the Negroes.
You know what I mean? They want people who don't want to work. Yeah, it's a capitalist country. Yes, if you want to work, you're good. But it's all because it spanks. That don't want to work. I don't mean to be racial. It's not Muslim.
I don't mean to be racial.
You know, everybody works.
Two of the most racial terms.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, go.
And the Jews are piece of too.
Hey, you leave the Jews out of it.
No, the Jews are.
Jews out of
the
it.
Jews are up. That my old man always said, "F***ing Jews in New York are the worst
right?
people." My mother almost got ripped off.
You know why, right?
She tried to take our
because your old man for Express.
Yeah.
But
Jews,
Rabbi 108 Street, you can hang.
I mean, Jesus was a Jew, so God bless him. But
yeah,
the rest of the Jews can.
You know who killed Jesus?
Do you agree with that?
I don't know.
Listen, I agree with you on that. Just don't answer. That's it.
All right, God bless.
Thank you.
Because many Democrats, including most of you on stage, have criticized President Trump for his lack of transparency. But Senator Sanders, when you were here in Las Vegas in October, you were hospitalized with a heart attack. Afterwards, you pledged to make, quote, all your medical records public. You've released 3 letters from your doctors, but you now say you won't release anything more. What happened to your promise of full transparency?
Well, I think we did. Let me tell you what happened. First of all, you're right. And thank you, Las Vegas, for the excellent medical care I got in the hospital 2 days. So we released the full report of that heart attack. Second of all, we released the full, my whole 29 years in the Capitol, the attending physician, all of my history, medical history. And furthermore, we released reports from 2 leading Vermont cardiologists who described my situation, and by the way, who said Bernie Sanders is more than able to deal with the stress and the vigor of being president of the United States. Hey, follow me around the campaign trail, 3, 4, 5 events a day. See how you're doing compared to me. Look.
Mayor Buttigieg, you've been critical about transparency on this stage and people needing to do better. Is that response from Senator Sanders enough for you?
No, it's not, because first of all, let me say we're all delighted that you are in fighting shape. And at the same time, transparency matters, especially living through the Trump era. Now, under President Obama, the standard was that the president would release full medical records, do a physical, and release the readout. I think that's the standard that we should hold ourselves to as well. Now, President Trump lowered that standard. He said just a letter from a doctor is enough, and a lot of folks on this stage are now saying that's enough. But I am certainly prepared to get a physical, put out the results. I think everybody here should be willing to do the same. But I'm actually less concerned about the lack of transparency on Sanders' personal health than I am about the lack of transparency on how to pay for his health care plan, since he said that it's impossible to even know how much it's going to cost. And even after raising taxes on everybody making $29,000, there is still a multi-trillion-dollar hole. Matter of fact, if you add up his policies all together, they come to $50 trillion. He's only explained $25 trillion worth of revenue, which means that the hole in there is bigger than the size of the entire economy of the United States.
Mayor,
the time has come to level with the American people.
All right, let's level, Pete. Under your plan, which is a maintenance continuation of the status quo, can I finish? The average American today is paying $12,000 a year. That's what that family is paying. 20% of a $60,000 income, $12,000 a year. Highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. Just the other day, a major study came out from Yale epidemiologists in Lancet, one of the leading medical publications in the world. What they said, my friends, is Medicare for All will save $450 billion a year. Because we are eliminating the absurdity of thousands of separate plans that require hundreds of billions of dollars of administration. And by the way, ending the $100 billion a year in profiteering from the drug companies and the insurance companies.
This is really important.